Lawrence Lepard is an advocate for smart money, a Bitcoin fan, and a financial manager at Equity Management Associates. Lepard has spent years telling investors to buy gold as a hedge against the constant debasement of fiat currencies. He knows this because he used to run a gold stock fund and fight for sound money principles. But the rise of Bitcoin has made Lepard's job easier because the most popular cryptocurrency offers a better alternative: digital gold. Lepard is interested in Bitcoin because it protects well against cash debasement and has many other benefits not found in traditional gold. Lepard recently told Gold Republic that he thinks the price of Bitcoin will go through the roof and that the top cryptocurrency will be worth millions of dollars per coin in the future. This statement comes from both the fact that fiat currencies are still losing value and the growing fear that things will get worse in the years to come. During his conversation with Alexis Jordanov, Lepard gave a hopeful range of years from 2028 to 2038 for the current financial system to fall apart and a global Bitcoin standard to take its place. Using the Strauss-Howe generational theory to figure out when the cycle started and when it might end, Lepard pointed out how quickly a new cycle started when the financial system almost collapsed in 2008. With a staggering $315 trillion in debt, Lepard thinks that inflation will turn into hyperinflation over the next few years. This will lead to what he calls hyper-Bitcoinization, the point at which Bitcoin replaces traditional currencies as the main form of money around the world. Watch this space for excerpts from Lepard's interview with Gold Republic, in which he talks about the state of the US and world economies, Bitcoin's role, and how it will eventually become the standard for all Bitcoin transactions. Francs, the dollar is worthless, and all money is worthless now that we're using Bitcoin. I think that's what will happen. That will happen soon, okay? Yes, that will happen soon. But, I've been early and wrong before, so get ready for me to be early and wrong again. Again, yes. I'll tell you 2 ways they could get out of it. There are 3, though. One way they do it is similar to what we did after World War II. They raise prices very quickly until they can lower their government debt to a level where they can control the money supply again. In other words, they kind of save it. It's like a Volcker, but it lasts for 7 or 8 years, right? When Israel had a problem like this, they did something like this. They could also do a one-time restart of the money supply, like Roosevelt did, right? He also took the gold, changed its value, and overnight, the dollar lost 70% of its value in terms of gold. I mean, someone smart in the government could figure out that the current money system isn't working and decide that they need to fix it by splitting the dollar in 10 equal parts. And old dollars are worth $10, while new dollars are worth $1. The new dollar is backed by gold, oil, a basket of currencies, or something else that can't be made, so it's safe. In the other case, the whole thing fails. Do you understand? What else is there? It's like Mad Max. Yes, it won't be Mad Max, but there will be a lot of chaos and hyperinflation for a very short time. We might reach a point where Bitcoin is worth a lot more and a dollar is worth a lot less, but in Bitcoin terms, they will still be worth the same. They're similar, but in the end it comes back to what I said at the beginning of the interview when most people agree that the dollar is useless. I mean, it's good for transactions, but not much else. They'll do what people in Weimar, Germany did in 1922. As soon as they get a dollar, they'll change it into something else. It's like a hot potato. No one wants to hold it. They only want to leave. It is known as Gresham's law. You're selling money that you know will lose value and buying money that you know will keep its value or even go up in value. That process will speed up, and just like with Silicon Valley Bank, everyone all of a sudden said, "Holy crap, this bank is bankrupt. I need to get my money out of there. It might happen quickly." It might happen very quickly. Don't rule out the chance that it could happen, quickly in 30 because we're all so linked up on the internet and social media. The situation gets worse when everyone in the country knows the currency is a joke and losing value. This makes the situation worse because the currency is what it is, a way for people to buy and sell things with each other, and it should keep its value, at least in the short to medium term. I mean, it can, and we've shown that it can lose 7% of its value every year for a long time and still be around. When it starts to lose value, like when it loses 10% a month, that's called hyperinflation. I mean, 50% a month is what hyperinflation means. And there have been more than 100 hyperinflations in the last 200 years. And, here in Turkey, we're having a pretty mild one right now. Venezuela had one that was so bad that their money lost all of its value. There are many more cases like this. I mean, you just go through Hungary or Zimbabwe, there are a lot of them. All of them seem to have the same pattern. The currency starts out slowly, then moves faster, the changes get bigger, and then everyone is like, you know what? Screw this, I'm leaving that place right now. I'm no longer holding this. And, it kind of looks amazing. I mean, if you look at the camera, I think I was doing some math, you can see what people were buying and how much things cost in Turkish. Is that a Turkish franc? The Turkish lira. Dear lira, I'm sorry, yes. And the Turkish lira, well, things cost about 200 times more now than they did a few years ago. It's clear that some of them are just there. Look, we can get 20 bips on trillions of dollars. Let's do it. Some of them seem to kind of get it and understand it. A rich friend of mine recently told me, I don't know, man, I was talking about 50,000. I think a lot of them are going to make the same common mistake. Man, I don't know. I know that my average rate is a lot less. God, you told me about it when I was 25. I should have bought it then. It's 100% more than before. How do I get it? I told him, dude, you don't get it. Also, I'll give you a great example of what I mean. A lot of cases have been used. I bought Microsoft when it went public, which was around 1984 or 1985. Okay, I made 3 times as much money. There was a condo I needed to buy. It was sold. Okay, that was a mistake. Okay, because it was the hardware that the PC software ran on. Okay, so Apple and everything else came along in the end. But the point is that I felt great when I left. I got 300%. I'm making, twice as much money. Okay, you don't sell something that is so important that it will change things over many years or decades. You don't sell it. It's like a deal. Use the real estate market in Manhattan as an example. It's the most important business hub in the United States, If you came in 1,700, you might think the Dutch who came in 1,640 got a good deal since you paid 10 times as much. What if you came in 1,800? You'd think the farmers and Brits who came in the 1,700s got a good deal since you paid 10 times what they did. But guess what? It has worked at every level to buy a fixed quantity of Manhattan real estate. You know that it's going down now, and the city was. There is, in fact, a problem. In '74, the city is a mess. There were needles in the streets, tax revolts of all kinds, and so on. You could get a building for almost nothing, and some very smart people did the same. They're also very rich now, but it's an object whose value will keep going up because there aren't many of them. Still, you have to live, and I think that being a rich millionaire, billionaire, whatever else is short-sighted as well. For example, I know people who, if they had $1 million on each coin, might say, I need to lighten up a bit here, I'd like to take a holiday, but I don't know how much it will cost. But it's also a bit of be careful what you wish for. Because Bitcoin could be worth $10 billion or $10 million. That being said, we could also have $100 fuel in the same spot. Okay. To be more specific, it's part of the reason why money is losing value, which is also why Bitcoin usage is making nominal prices go up. I think Wall Street will take a while to figure it out. It's also funny. Really, it's almost the right tool, but I think you have to be pretty humble to accept it for what it is and know that you don't know everything. What I mean is that I wasn't sure about it at first. That is, Saylor wasn't sure in 2013. He wasn't sure. He did say that, though. I also think about that book, right? Yes. Why? I'm not sure. I haven't heard of that before. But I know he tweeted that he didn't believe it. And I believe that most people who work on Wall Street believe they are smarter than most people. Most of the time, they are pretty cocky. Most of the time, they are pretty wealthy. They got a prize and were told